Well, Langley Park is a very multicultural community, over 100 languages spoken. When people from around the world decide to come to the United States, this is one of the destinations. Somewhere between 60 to 70% are from El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, and Colombia. We came together about 3 years ago to examine this area because it has two potential Purple Line station stops within the mile radius of the community, as well as a potential transit bus station stop right next to one of the Purple Line stops. On top of that, this is a high pedestrian community, and it also has the highest fatality rates of pedestrians in the state. As a commission, we came together and said that this justified a sector plan making and creating a walkable community, because right now it's a suburban community with it, but the people is an urban density of people there. Traditionally, when you have infrastructure improvements, you also have redevelopment opportunities in the area.
And the sector plan that was drawn up by Prince George's County is a very nice plan with one exception, and that is that there are people living where the planning calls for change. If it were a farm, everybody would say it's what a lovely design for developing farmland. But it's not a farm, it's where about 10,000 people who are not rich live.
Well, Langley Park is a very suburban layout, post-war apartment buildings, post-war shopping centers. We had to examine, could this area sustain more density? Could you actually add more density to the station stops surrounding core areas in the area?
Then developers are going to come in and they're going to tear down the current apartments and build more modern apartments that are more market rate. So there will be many thousands of people who will be displaced. The apartments that would be bulldozed are almost all of the garden apartments in Langley Park. Most people who live in Langley Park right now do not realize that somewhere down the line after the recession is over, the bulldozers are going to start showing up, and the question is what will happen to them.
We've heard a lot of concerns that it was assumed that this was a redevelopment plan where we're coming in to bulldoze properties, and that's not the case. We're not the redevelopment authority. We do not have funds to come and acquire property. We can only make recommendations if the property owner so chooses to sell their property or redevelop their property. Is their prerogative. As more of a tactic to get people to come out. When you see that and you hear that, then the next public meeting you'll have 200 people out and throwing that out there, and it's not a true statement. You will not find anywhere in here where as an implementation tool we state that we're going to come and acquire anything, because we don't have the authority as a Park and Planning Commission to do that.
There is an issue about affordability as well. If you tear down affordable apartments and you put up market rate apartments, the odds are you're going to make more money. And so the question is, what is the role of the public sector in protecting affordable apartments? Or do they simply say that let the market rule and whatever happens, happens?
We've had concerns that we didn't address affordability at all in the plan. I have a 20-page section on affordability in the plan in the back. And so I've kind of had to go back and forth to specific people to tell them where it's located in the plan.
But then there was absolutely no statement of implementation. And again, there's the issue of affordability and what's affordable to the people who are there today.
The units right now aren't really affordable, but they're affordable because there is a huge overcrowding of some of these units to make them affordable. The average rent for a one-bedroom is almost $1,000 a month. Average rent for a two-bedroom is about $1,200, and there are two complexes that have 3 bedrooms, and they're about $1,300 a month. That's not really affordable.
It's a preference as what kind of life you want to lead in your neighborhood. Now, some people want to have a very sterile life, and I think it is true of a lot of the people who live in Langley Park and a lot of other areas that they do like this vigorous street life, and yet it's been essentially eliminated by eliminating all the places that might have some attraction to go there.
You would have a urban space concentration for people to have festivals, for people just to sit, for people to talk and touch base with their neighbors, etc. And so that was one of the concepts that we kind of discussed, and we actually implemented into the plan as well.
I did briefly talk with some planners about what their outreach was. There was a number of people said the plan is going to increase the amount of parkland in the area. Some of the streets will be wider and they'll all have sidewalks and so forth. What do you think about that? And everybody said, what a great idea. Unfortunately, if you look at where these parks would be, where the roads will be and so forth, it means that you have to tear down what's there.
That was a concern, that just trying to get the information to the people that live there. We tried outreach, going to literally Saturday mornings, going to the grocery store, showing maps, talking to people. We always had translation services provided, going to festivals, having our information out there. We tried to change it up a little bit to try to make sure that we got as much outreach and be as effective as we possibly could. So.
And the people who are going to be displaced are people who, for the most part, really don't have either the skills or the access to put up a fight.
I hope that there's a various amount of housing in the area, not just one type of housing, but a various amount of affordability in the area. And I really hope that it stays as an international community. It's a wonderful area. It's a wonderful area.